All right, Breedlove Special Edition Concerto. Wow, that's pretty.
Yeah, this is cool looking. It's crazy. This is myrtlewood, I think. Yeah, it's all myrtlewood. Let's give her a go here. Wow.
Well, there's a lot of surprise right there. And it looks pretty too.
To me, this guitar sounds very balanced. You know, there's no hot spots or anything. It's maybe lacking a little bit in the low end, but it has it there. But I don't know how to explain it. It's very detailed, I guess is how I would say it.
Oh, how does it sound to me? Okay, so this guitar sounds bright, but with a ton of depth. And I mean that once again, like, sometimes I think when we say the word bright, I think we think of negative connotations, like, but to me, bright can be a positive attribute in an instrument. So like when I picked this up and I strummed it, I immediately was like, okay, this is not a big boomy bluegrass country guitar. So I immediately kind of switched my style a little bit, kind of played something a little bit more pretty, I guess, or a little bit more melodic. And I think that's a really cool thing that a guitar can do sometimes, is if a guitar makes me want to play something different, then that's a cool guitar to have, you know?
This guitar sounds really rich. It has got a lot of, just like there's a richness to it, almost like a milkshake or something, to where you really enjoy that it's got the mid-range there, the low ends there. The highs it's not a real crystally high, but they're really, I mean, this thing's just really rich, and I enjoy its fullness.
This guitar is very open, a little bit more mid-rangey. The treble side is fairly bright. There is some bass to it. It's just not as noticeable as it would be, you know, if it was a rosewood guitar. But it does sound really good.
This guitar is a big surprise. Myrtlewood's not a Tonewood that's like on the top of my list of guitars that, you know, that I would build. But this is really interesting because with this concerto body, it's huge. Yet it's got this tamed mids and highs. It's got them. It's just like they've just been like held back just a little bit. And it's like when I started playing it, it was like, I'm going to play this like a normal one. Nope. This one wants to be strummed in patterns and things that and I was playing with it, you know. So it's warm, it's sweet, it's got highs, it's got lows, but in a totally different way.
All right, so the things I would change about this guitar is definitely the action height. It's a little bit stiff for me, so I'd probably bring down the saddle a little bit. But other than that, there's not much I think I would change. Maybe some nickel hardware instead of the gold, but the gold looks good.
Probably like this particular guitar's look is a little wild and exotic for me. But I also think that's what makes these so cool and special, because every bit of myrtlewood looks different and looks crazy. And this one looks really cool. Maybe just I'd want something a little more tame, so to speak. Yeah.
You're not that wild, are you?
I'm not that wild, man. I'm a meat and potatoes type of fella.
I think they kind of just hit the nail on the head for what they were going for with this. I mean, this is obviously a really cool Tonewood, but what they were able to get out of it, not only just beautifully crafted, but also tonally is just awesome. This guitar is a blast to play, and it sounds just wonderful in the room. I mean, it really does have this nice low end to mid range. Nothing's overbearing anything else. I don't think I would change anything.
There is a few things I would change for me. The neck shape on this one is kind of a C shape. It is a little bit bigger in my hand, and for this style of guitar, I don't know if that necessarily works. I also am not a big cutaway guy, and so if they did it in a full body without a cutaway, I would like it a little bit better as well.
That's always a hard question. What would I change? Not much. You know, I'm actually really impressed with how this has a feel, and it makes me want to play different. It makes me want to do things different. I want to throw this in DADGAD and see what it does, lightening up on it. I bet fingerpicking. So I don't know how I'd change anything. I love the way it looks. It's just stunning. it's not your classic traditional look, and it shouldn't be. This is myrtle wood that just looks incredible. And in this body shape with the maple neck, it feels fantastic. It sounds fantastic.
So to me, the neck shape is like a flat C, which isn't my favorite, but it's a comfortable neck for sure. I think a lot of players would generally like it. But yeah, flat C. The action's a little bit stiff, but yeah, pretty comfortable.
All right, so how's the feel? The feel is wonderful. That's something that I think is one of Breedlove's biggest attributes is the setup, the feel, the neck feel, the playability. I liken it a lot to that of almost kind of like Taylor's guitars and the way that they play, feel, setup. Everything is very approachable. And I think that's what I think of when I think of Breedlove, as I think of approachability. Because if you pick up like an old D18 or something from the 30s or 40s and you got this big, huge neck, a beginner is probably going to have a little bit of trouble with that. But with a guitar like this, the neck feels great. The body shape feels really friendly to hold. And yeah, it's a really playable guitar and one that I think anybody could get along with.
This has got a pretty comfortable neck. It is a little thicker feeling than what I think I typically get out of a Breedlove. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but it just feels like it's just got a little bit more substance. Maybe it's just a little bit deeper, but it's still comfortable. It's still kind of got that Breedlove comfortable neck profile, but it just feels a little more substantial.
It feels great. It is very comfortable with it being a little bit smaller body of a guitar compared to the standard dreadnoughts that I play. The neck is the only issues that I have feel-wise, but the fit and finish is done really well.
I love this actual neck. This has the very slightest hint of a V. Yeah, a little bit, maybe. But it's just slim and slender. This has more of that, Taylor-esque. If you're an electric player and you want something that feels super easy to play, super skinny feeling neck, yet has some beef to it, this is amazing.
All right, so I think this guitar is going to be perfect for a worship leader or maybe a solo act that's doing, or even one of those guys that does the tapping stuff, the very percussive stuff. Being that it has an anthem in it, you got that piezo pickup in there. So great for worship or just a solo artist that's doing some loops or just an overall standard guitar for somebody.
The first thing that comes to my head is praise and worship music. Because of kind of the bright, strummy, open chord type of possibilities there. And I think that's probably the most appropriate I could think of for just like off the top of my head. Now the next thing would be like strummy type of country, folk music where you want something light, like a light sounding guitar that's very lofty but with a lot of depth. Probably something like that.
This guitar is super versatile. I mean, it still has that modern sound, but I think because it has that kind of really nice, warm, kind of woody tone, that I think this would be good for anything from, modern worship music to classic country. I would totally take this anywhere. Fingerstyle. I mean, it's going to have that really nice round note for fingerstyle. Folk music would be good on this. I mean, I think anything Americana style would be great for this guitar.
I would probably put this in the hands of a singer-songwriter, praise and worship leader, anything that you're strumming big open chords with. I think that this guitar would really work great for you.
This is for somebody who wants to sit on stage and look stunning, and actually back it up with an amazing sounding guitar. I think too many times people buy guitars that look this gorgeous because they want it to look great on stage, and it doesn't back it up with an amazing tone and richness. And I think that's where this guitar is going to stand out. There's a lot of brand names that build fantastic guitars, especially in various different styles of music, where you're a singer-songwriter doing more pop, country, worship music, those kind of areas where it's a little bit bigger and you want something with its own character and also a look to go with it. And I think that's where this excels, in that it's gorgeous to look at and it backs it up with an amazing sound.
I don't think I would pick up this guitar just because it's I don't know, just it's not what I would probably go for. But not to say it doesn't fit a market. So I probably wouldn't add it to my collection, but I know there's somebody out there that would definitely like it.
I think this guitar is pretty cool. Am I in love with the way it looks? Not particularly. Do I like the way it looks? Not particularly. Do I hate the way it looks? No, I don't hate it either. It's somewhere like above. It's like in between dislike and like. I'm kind of just, like, this would be fine because I could get past it with. And honestly, this is just my opinion. This isn't this isn't talking bad about Breedlove or anything. It's just like I like natural tops or sunburst and stuff, and it's a little exotic for me, but I would get past it because of how good this guitar sounds and how different sounding it would be than any other instrument I have. Next time when you guys make a guitar, maybe don't release the chickens all over it.
I probably wouldn't. It's just not necessarily my style. It is a great sounding guitar.
Man, yeah, I would love to be able to have something like this. And one of these days, I do want to have something from Tom Bedell's, either the Bedell line or the Breedlove line that shows exactly what they do, not only just crafting a killer guitar, but in his whole belief on how to treat Tonewoods from top to bottom.
I don't know if it's going to work for my everyday usage, but I can see where I would use this in a studio space for layering guitars. It wouldn't be like my main one. I take that back. You know what? If I was doing some fill-in work with country gigs, and worship team, I would definitely. This is probably the number one on my list for that style of guitar.
This guitar is wildly responsive too, so you could use it as a flat picking guitar. All right, never mind. I guess you can't. Yeah, so